Hello YouTube and welcome to Full Dottle, a channel dedicated to tamping topics such as pipes, tobacco, lore, and more. I am your host, the Bearded Briarman, and without further ado, let's get lit. Welcome back everyone, and happy Cobb Tuesday. I am smoking my Country Gentleman, and in it I've got some Haunted Bookshop. So today, in light of all the recent events, I wanted to do this video just to talk a little bit about personal values. I'm not going to get political on you because politics are highly opinionated, and quite honestly, I don't give a damn about opinions. I like objective facts, not subjective emotions. So I'm not going to get started on politics. But what I am going to tell you, no matter what your political ideology, no matter where you stand in life, stay true to your personal values. Your beliefs, the core of what makes you who you are, you should be willing to fight and die for. And it's up to you what your core values are. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to ask you what they are. All I'm trying to say to you is your beliefs should be powerful. If they're not, then change them. My story is one of some difficulty. The second time I went to Iraq, I had just picked up NCO, and NCO in the Marine Corps is non-commissioned officer. When you rise through the ranks, once you meet E4, you become basically a middle manager. You're actually given charge over some junior Marines. I picked up E4, and just shortly after we set out on our second trip to Iraq. Because I was on a MEU, M-E-U, which stands for Marine Expeditionary Unit, I was on ship. The Navy took us over and dropped us off in Kuwait. I was on ship for over 30 days. I don't remember exactly how long now, but I was on ship for over 30 days, crossed the international date line, all that good stuff. Anyway, on our way over there, being a combat engineer, we were stacked on top. Our berthing area where we'd slept and lived on ship was stacked on top of where the grunts were. And they were lower down in the ship than we were as combat engineers. And our berthing area had a hatch that led outside onto the flight deck. A lot of times, while the infantry was training, they would go up to the flight deck and they would do, you know, a couple rounds or whatever, get some exercise in. And when they would go out, especially when we got to the Persian Gulf, it was hot, and I mean hot. Well, they would head out and they wouldn't close the hatch. You know, as they would file out, every person would not shut the hatch as the next person was coming out, and so on and so forth. We had a guy that they were heading out to PT. It's called physical training in the Marine Corps. They were heading out to PT. And the last guy that went out thought there were other people behind him. And so he left the hatch open. And our berthing area got sweltering hot anytime that hatch was left open. See, the ships that we were on, they would recycle the salt water from the ocean, and it was basically like a giant water cooler. But when you left that hatch open, it heated up quick. It wasn't like an air conditioner. It didn't keep up. It was barely cool even with the hatch closed. Imagine a tuna can with cool, moist air being pumped in. Anyway, so this Marine heads out. Nobody behind him, leaves the hatch wide open. And he's assuming somebody was behind him, the last person would secure the hatch. Well, being a new NCO, my senior NCOs told me, hey, you need to get some practice chewing people's asses. You need to, when he comes back in, you need to stop his ass and you need to light him up. Light him up was just slang for jump his ass. And not physically, but just, ream his ass. So, it's like 30 minutes or so after they were done PTing. He comes running in and I catch him. And I gave him the what for. I mean, I lit his ass up. I've never screamed like that at a person. Anyway, he was a non-NCO, so there wasn't anything he could do about it. He went on his way. We went on our way, did our thing, they did their thing. Fast forward a few months, 2 or 3 months, now we're in Iraq. The first time I was in Iraq, it was more of a combat forward position. The second time I went was more of a support role. I volunteered for all sorts of stuff because, to be quite honest with you, I didn't think I was going to survive. I don't know why I had that feeling. I just had this feeling that I would never survive. I survived it the first time by the skin of my teeth. The second time I knew I was going to die. So I volunteered for every mission that I possibly could that had any type of danger involved. And one of those missions came down the pike one day. There was some pretty heavy fighting going on, and one of our more forward camps, I believe it was called Camp Echo at the time, was receiving indirect mortar fire and stuff like that. And we had artillery going out. And we were tasked with the mission of transporting an Angel to the field morgue. An Angel is a fallen Marine. So I volunteer for it. We head out. We get there, and we get there in time for another barrage of artillery to go out, so it's just chaos. I mean, if you've never been around artillery, it's something to behold, man. It's the finger of God, I'll tell you. Anyway, so you've got artillery going out, just boom, boom, chaos all around. We've got the entire camp is full of litters with Marines on them. Some of them are alive, some of them aren't. So we grab our transport and we take them. On our way to the field hospital, we're in the back of basically a dump truck. It was an improvised troop carrier. We're in the back of a dump truck. We've got this Marine in the middle, the Angel, and we're around him on the sides of the dump truck facing outboard to provide cover in case we come under fire. And as we're driving along, my sergeant on the other side says, oh shit. And I turn around to look, and he's wiping blood off his face. When I looked down, and the tarp that we had the Angel wrapped in had come open because of the wind in the back of the dump truck, and it had flopped open. And as it flopped open, I knew immediately who the Marine was. It was the very Marine that I lit his ass up because he didn't close the hatch on his way to the flight deck. Still puts a feeling in the pit of my stomach because, you know, he didn't really deserve to be reprimanded like I did. I went way overboard to please somebody else. And I'll probably go the rest of my life regretting that. But the point of the story I had a mental lapse of judgment that day, and I decided to do something out of peer pressure. And I should have never done that. No matter what the outcome, I knew what was right to do, and I should have done what was right. It's one of those times in life that has taught me, you know, because of that moment, I don't care if it costs me my life, I don't care if it costs me my position, my social standing, I'll always do what's right. Because sometimes you have to live with the consequences, even if they're not as dire as doing what's right. All of you guys out there, life is a funny thing. Some of the things that have happened recently have made people very upset, pissed people off, and for good reason. But I encourage everybody out there to do what is right. Do not live your life on emotion. Emotions are inside of you. Emotions lie to you because they're only lessons trying to teach you how to react. They're not trying to teach you what to react to. They're trying to teach you how to feel what your reactions are. If you live your life off of emotion, you're not gonna react the right way in every situation. You know what is right and you know what is wrong. And there's nobody that can convince me otherwise. In the scriptures, in the Holy Bible, it tells us that the Word of God is written on our heart. That's your conscience. Your conscience tells you what is right and wrong. And unless there's something wrong with you in the head, where you're clinically insane or something, then you know what's right and wrong. So I implore all of you, everybody, no matter what the situation is in life, no matter what you're feeling on the inside, do what's right. Always do what's right. Because sometimes it's hard to live with what comes after. Anyway, everyone, that's my story for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time we see each other, I bid you farewell and happy piping. Bye, everyone. Have you enlisted in the full Dottle platoon yet? It's easy. Just click the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified as soon as I upload the next episode.